Welcome, everybody, to It Tastes Different Gaming News. What's in the news today? Death of the console generation. Before I jump into all that happy news, make sure you hit like, share, subscribe, notifications, all those good buttons to keep you up to date. Now, let's jump in. So, you all probably heard already, but we're going to drop the news bomb on you ourselves. Sony just killed discs. Physical disc production to end in January of 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. Not PlayStation games, PlayStation consoles. So that means all games. For PlayStation will now be digital. Sony has announced physical disc production ends in January of 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. It's a shock announcement that follows Rockstar's decision not to sell a physical disc version of GTA 6, which is expected to dominate game sales from this November onwards for a while. This new policy will cover all games released on PlayStation consoles from all publishers after this cutoff date, which some analysts believe hints at when the PS6 is released. So, in response to shifting trends and preference, new games will be released in the PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. Sid Schumann, Senior Director, Sony Interactive Entertainment Content Communications, said in a post on the PlayStation blog. Now, I'm going to speak in my business voice here. As a consumer, preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital physical game disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. Will be discontinuing starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that are already released or will be releasing prior to the January 2028 disc format. This is a natural direction for Sony Interactive Entertainment to adapt to consumer trends as a general preference for digital media significantly outpaces physical disc. This transition will enable us to align more closely with how most of our community prefers to access play games. We'll continue to prioritize our resources to drive innovation and how players can access games and provide choices as to where players prefer to purchase new games. Whether that's at retailers or PlayStation Store, we remain committed to delivering a world-class gaming experience to our fans, and we thank you for your continued support. So I don't want to continue this because it all comes down to money, control. So I find the one thing in the article that really threw me off was in the response, it's saying that they're going to release digital copies at retailers. So GTA 6 has announced they're going to have a box you can buy at the store with a digital code. Now, that's stupid. I mean, it's stupid. It makes no sense. Granted, I don't want to give Sony my credit card. I don't hardly own anything digital through Sony because they've hacked more times than a dog that got into that special drawer. I mean, they are just constantly getting hacked. And every time all your information gets out there because of one of their hacks, guess what? They'll throw you a $30 gift card, but somebody's got your social security number. So, I personally see this as the end of gaming consoles. Microsoft has gone to hell in a handbasket. It's basically down to Sony because Nintendo's not a console anymore. It's a hybrid inbred thing. So I don't even put that in the same category as a console anymore. That's just my opinion on Nintendo. But no, this is the death of consoles. The console market has been going to hell the last few years, be it tariff price increases, being tech cost increases. It's astounding how fast the gaming industry is wiping itself out. I will not pay $1,000 plus for an Xbox or a PlayStation. I'm not going to do it. That's just batshit crazy. I had a hard time buying a Switch for $500. Well, my wife got it for me for my birthday, but still, I had a hard time letting her spend that kind of money on me. I think this is it. I think this is the last generation of true gaming consoles. I think next generation is DOA. I think just the cost alone are going to kill it. But I think taking away the options of disc is the other nail in that coffin. So, but what do you think, Nick? I mean, you're a collector like me. We both like our games. We like our disc. The only reason we bought games on Xbox digitally truly is because of the game share, which was always nice. But, not everything's an Xbox anymore, but we'll get to that later. So, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a unusual move, right? I know, and I'm sure a lot of people out there have. I know I've talked about it before that the move to all digital will come eventually. I think if you look back at our early YouTube videos, we probably all of us were sounding the alarm on this will be an inevitability, right? And it's just a matter of time. And that time seems to be quickly approaching. So, I mean, the video game industry, they are in a lot of formats are moving to digital, right? According to the internets, approximately 85% of console game software sales are digital, leaving physical copies to just about 15%, meaning that most people purchase their games digitally. Now, I think there's a number of factors as to why, right? Besides convenience, right? I think there's a number of factors as to why. Convenience is one thing, but also like there's a lot, in the industry did start not a trend really, but kind of a push towards that, right? By not, a lot of some games were coming out digital only. And, I think the industry was trying to push individuals into that digital, landscape. We talk about and this is more of an eye opener. It should be an eye opener. Like the rest of us knew, but for those out there that didn't know, it's like Sony's when Xbox was going to do this last generation, right? And Sony put out that video where this is how you trade a PlayStation, right? I mean, that again, even at that time, I knew this is just, it's just all marketing bullshit. And people online, the PlayStation ponies or whatever they call themselves, took it to rag on Xbox and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, guys, I get it, but they're just playing to your feelings at the moment, right? Sony's going to do this too. They're saying it right now, but they're not going to keep that mentality in the long run, right? They're going towards the same thing. Xbox tried it first, and if it was successful for Xbox and did get a lot of pushback, Sony would have went right there for it. But it didn't. It backfired for Xbox. So Sony saw an opportunity. And that was the only way, that was the only reason why they went forward with what they did with the whole video and everything like that, right? Otherwise, Sony would have said, fuck you and fuck your disc and would have done this a long time ago. It's just now they feel like, okay, well, we can do it now, right? At some point, someone's going to have to as far as the industry is concerned, at some point, someone's going to have to just bite the bullet and take that first step, right? And I didn't think, we had talked about before that Microsoft and Xbox or in PlayStation were not going to have a disk drive in their next consoles. And, it looks like Sony's not going to have one. And there's reports that Microsoft's project Helix is not going to have a disk drive either. So they're already going that way. And the thing that, even though digital has that convenience factor, the thing that sucks about digital is you truly don't own those items, right? If Sony or PlayStation or Xbox or anybody decides to delist those items, which they've done before, and we'll talk about that in another video, then you no longer own those things. They're just gone. You purchase them, and you're not owning them. You're just renting them. You're renting them for as long as they decide it's going to stay up.
You're renting a license to own. You're renting a license to use.
Right.
That's the whole scheme.
And eventually, not even with gaming, but every form, I feel like at some point, ultimately, what every company will want to do is everything is a license to use, right? Because they want to be able to sell you, or basically to have the ownership over that item, right? To tell you that you can and cannot use it, when you can have it and when you can't have it. Things like that. I mean, they could even do a thing where like every year they come out with a new Skyrim and they delist the old Skyrim. So every year you have to buy the new updated Skyrim, right? If you want to continue playing. I mean, that's worst case scenario type thing, but I mean, like it's a possibility, right? And it really comes down to the consumers.
You said the other day, sorry to cut you off. You said the other day, Dead or Alive 6 re-released
the last Steam. Round version.
Round on Steam. And the people that had all the DLC stuff can't use it all now. They have to repurchase
some of it, yes.
Some of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the kind of hairy horse shit I'm talking about.
Right. And then it just starts with that, right? And eventually it's going to get to the point where they come out with that same scenario where they come out with Dead or Alive last round and your old Dead or Alive no longer works, right? It's completely delisted and it does not work. You have to repurchase the game if you want to play it, right? And the industry can't get away with that now, but they want to eventually do that, right? And it all comes back to again, the capitalist system that we live in and the companies needing to earn higher profits every year. And when a company has to make more money the next year, considerable amount of more money the next year than the previous year, every single year, then they've got to think of shady fucking shit to be able to accomplish that, right? Because as far as we, the consumer, we're not making more money, right? We might get our yearly raises, but the minimum wage hasn't gone up. And it hasn't caught up to what the cost of everything is, right? Groceries to games to movies and everything out there, right? Our pay has not caught up to that. So really, it's kind of like, again, even with the console price increases and stuff like that, and the games going up $10 more, like, again, I've talked about this before, but there's a point where the whole market and everything, especially in the United States, is going to hit a ceiling where they're not going to be able to go anywhere. And then what happens, right? The consumer no longer can afford the items. The companies can't seem to, even though they probably got a shit ton of money anyway, can't seem to sustain themselves or their shareholders because they can't increase profits every year because nobody's buying anything. And they don't want to reduce prices because if they reduce prices, then they're like, oh, well, we got to keep them that way, right? I mean, Sony's getting rid of this because they don't want to pay for manufacturing carts or, boxes and printing discs and shipping those out to manufacturers, right? They have to pay for that distribution and all that stuff. But are we going to see a decrease in price? Fuck no, we're not. We're probably going to see an increase starting with Grand Theft Auto. Besides Nintendo's games, starting with Grand Theft Auto being $80, you're going to see a trend where more and more games are going to come out at $80 a pop and be digital only. And the market, the industry will want to keep it that way, even though they're saving money on the back end because now they don't have to print or distribute or ship discs. Right.
Yeah. Well, it all comes down to, it's not the digital that bothers me as much as the fact that I don't own the shit I paid for. The fact that I can't turn on my PlayStation or my Xbox or my Switch or even my Steam game and own it. Steam has a thing on there. This is not a purchase or something. I can't remember what it is. I don't look at Steam. I don't look at PC the same way I look at consoles. No, just because to me it's two different beasts. So I may not be right about it, but that's just what I feel. I think they're two different. But consoles is where I go to buy my games. I buy my games on disc. My PlayStation games, I only own a few digital, and that's just because I got them free or some crap, or it was a digital only purchase, something like that. But all my PlayStation games are discs. My Xbox, I've been buying more discs because of Nick not having an Xbox, even though everything's an Xbox. We can't game share if you don't have an actual Xbox to have an Xbox. But I've been starting to buy more discs that way because it's just I like the discs. But if I can save money, I save money. This will not save anybody a dime except for Sony, except for their bottom line. And it's just another example of, well, it used to be Sony was the anti-consumer one. Microsoft pretended to try, and they pretended pretty good. And now neither one of them give a shit about their player base. Neither one of them give a shit about their customer base. And it's all about control and profitability. So that's going to end Sony and Xbox next generation. And in my opinion, I think that's what will. Price gouging, taking away ownership of our games. That's it. This console generation death is at the end of 2027, my opinion.
Yeah, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure where they go from here. And I mean, even when they got rid of manuals, right, the prices didn't go down or anything. No. And so the customer still takes the cost regardless of what they do on the back end. And, the changes that they make that the customer doesn't like, well, that saves them money and that makes them more profit. But for the consumer, they're not getting more. They're getting less for the price that they're spending, right? So
yep. It's just a rip off and a scam, and I loathe the gaming industry. I'm a big gamer. I love games. I love playing games. There's so many on the horizon I'm excited about. It makes it really hard to be a gamer if you can't afford the games. I mean, just $80 is goddamn ridiculous.
Yeah.
On a standard. I mean, I could kind of understand it. GTA, if they actually put $1 billion into it, I can kind of see why they would put $80. But guess what?
Sure.
They're already making billions of dollars.
I mean, with pre-orders, they've already made more
like
than
$3.5 million.
Yeah, they already made more than they spent.
Yeah.
So
they
were already going to make it back, so they didn't have to make it $80. They just make it $80 because they knew they could sell it at $80. Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
They could probably sell it at $100.
And the $100 deluxe version of it is outselling the $80 version.
Of course it is. So they could have sold the $100 as a standard version,
as the base, yeah.
And then the ultimate as $150 or something like that, and probably still or $200. I mean, not 200, but probably like 150, and still would have outsold.
Yep. I don't know. It's a disgusting world, and we are witnessing the downfall and the death of gaming consoles. Period.
Yeah. And what also that means too is, Pat has talked about it before about how like you can't buy digital PlayStation games outside of the PlayStation Store. So doing this causes a monopoly within the PlayStation Store or ecosystem where you can basically the only person that has control over the games that are there and what you can purchase and the price you can purchase them at is Sony. You don't have other options. There's no competition for them. You can only get them from there, and that's it.
Yep.
Which causes a big problem because that means Sony can sell them,
control every square inch aspect
right.
of the game.
There's no competition, so they can sell. They can sell the next GTA or whatever at $200, and if you complain, you'd be like, "Well, you got nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
you either buy it for this or you're fucked." Right?
Yeah. Well, I think of it this way: next generation, they're going to have no sales unless the game. They won't have sales for the longest time, and I mean real sales, not
right.
You can pick this $80 game up for $74.99.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the cost of everything, right? The cost of everything needs to go down, right? The cost of computer components, RAM, things like that, that cost keeps increasing. And so that's going to make PlayStation 6 and the next Xbox to be incredibly expensive devices. And, again, not just electrical components, but everything in life is going up in price. And, people just are having a harder and harder time affording anything. So these, games are a luxury, and a luxury item. And so, games, movies, various things like that, something has to give at some point. That's all I'd say. Something has to give at some point.
Unfortunately, what's giving is my wallet and our time. You have anything else you want to cry about on this? Because I feel like crying watching my favorite thing in life, besides my wife and kids, my favorite thing in life, wither away.
No, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, thank you for being sad with us. Please let us know your sad comments in the comments below. Let us know what you think, though, really. I know digital is the way of the future, but you've got to remember when you give away your control, you're giving away your ownership. Everything can be taken away from you, and there's nothing you can do. But let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like, share, subscribe, notifications, all those good buttons to keep you up to date. See you next time. See ya.